Hi, I'm not yet dead in name and in nature, and welcome back to Altenstein. So it's just after 10 to 6 in the morning, and as you can see, yesterday evening was a little bit busy. So we ploughed fields 8 and 22 and cultivated them, so they're now ready for sowing. Yeah, then once it got dark, strange things happened. We went back in time. Very weird. So, sorry, that's terrible. Anyway, let's have a look around and we'll see what strange things did actually happen. So as you know, if you've been watching up until now, I'm trying to do this with period machinery that roughly fits the map. I'm guessing it's about sort of 60s. 70s, and I was struggling to find older equipment that did lots of things that I needed to do, and then the Farming Classics pack came out. Thank you very much, Dogface. So basically what I did was I sold pretty much everything that I could reasonably replace from the Farming Classics pack, and we've gone back about 10 years. So yeah, there's the hats, that's the, I can't remember. Let's just check. What did we get? Oh, the Guldner, that's right. So I've got the Guldner G40 front loader, the Bucher TRL 2600 loading wagon, obviously the two attachments for the Guldner, the hats. I got the Deutz D80 to have something a bit more powerful. I reluctantly sold the I can't remember the name of it now, the big Czech tractor that I had, because I really like that tractor. But anyway, we've got a new tedder, we've got a new windrower, we've got a new mower, we've got a new fertiliser spreader and a new seeder. Kept the old harvester because it's pretty good period wise, and it's German, and yeah, we can't get anything older. And I've kept the Massey Ferguson 135 because again that's about the same period, and of course the tipper. And as you saw, I've got a new cultivator. Actually, did I have a new cultivator, or was that the one we already had? No, that was the one we already had. And the plough that we already had. What I had to do was sell the other plough that we had. Again, name escapes me, really not with it. Which was the Nardi Bivamere. I had to sell that because I no longer had a tractor big enough to pull it. So yeah, so I've put all of the grass stuff in here, so the tedder, the windrower and the mower. And put the front loader attachments up there. Which one of them was on the tractor. Kept the Massey and the plough and the cultivator. And somewhere, is it in here? Yeah, I put the Deutz. So yeah, welcome to the 60s. Brilliant. And the other thing I did, as you saw, is I sold all of that loose straw. And I was already thinking about doing this. Because I was thinking about baling up some of the straw we've got on the other two fields we harvested yesterday. Oh, there's the seeder, which is brilliant. I love that. And yeah, so I got rid of all that straw and I sold it at the barn. Made a little bit of money. Was fine. Yeah, so was busy. So we'll see how this goes. Obviously got a lot more equipment to buy. Might buy a new cultivator from the Farming Classics pack. We've had another new plough come out, another forklift piece of equipment, but I don't think at the moment I've got a tractor powerful enough for it, so that's going to have to wait. There's another one, a few eggs overnight. Of course, the other snag of being really busy last night and getting through, oh goodness, lots of eggs, and getting through the night, and not apart from getting lots of eggs, is that we have more fields ready to harvest. So let's just have a quick look. Actually, of our fields, only field 16, which is corn. Oh, okay, actually that'd be interesting. And it's getting, actually no, it's not urgent, is it? I'd quite like to do some contracting actually on some of those fields that have gone deep orange. just because it's a good way to earn it. Maybe I'll do that off screen, because you don't want to see me doing a whole load of contract, especially as we talked about before. It's not with period machinery, so I'm going to try and avoid doing that. Oh, and yeah, Gunter visited the Rathaus yesterday, which is the local town hall in German, and had a word about those fields that we'd seen around the map that didn't appear to be owned by anybody. And they basically said it's sort of public land, it's free land, and their comment was they're all in a bit of a state. If you look after them, you can keep the crops. So yeah, not bad. So actually we've got a bit of work to do, because that means that, and actually one of those is already ready. So there's this little one up here, and these two down here. So these two down here are both potatoes. It says remove tops. Yeah, they're both potatoes, and that one up there is wheat. So yeah, we've been given the green light by the council to harvest those fields and cultivate them and keep them in good health. So, given that one of them is very nearly about to go over, oh, there's the loading wagon, look. I think perhaps we'll start with that. Actually, I don't need the beacon on, we're not going to go on a road. Try and avoid taking this on roads if I can, it's a little bit too big. It's a lovely morning again. Yes, if you've not seen all the farming classics, it's a brilliant pack. I did a video on it about a week ago or thereabouts. I don't know when I'll get this one out. Oh, my grass has grown again. Oh, excellent. Okay. So yeah, I would obviously recommend you go and look at it. It's not a bad video for a first sort of mod guide. I haven't really done one before, so, but I was so excited to get that pack, and it's just full of amazing tractors and pieces of equipment. So and it was good timing, because I was umming and ahhing about baling, and we didn't really have a baler the right age, and I'll go buy one very soon actually. Now then, looks like that's going to need a fertilisation, so we better do that as well. It's going to be a busy day. The one snag is that none of those tractors can have, we're not going to get much off this, it's in a bit of a state, this field, but hopefully with a bit of love and care from us it will do better. Yeah, so the one snag is that none of the new tractors in the Farming Classics pack can have crop tyres, but I'm just going to swing this round so that I can hopefully get the header off a bit smoother by having it a bit lower. But what I'm going to do, slightly unusually, is I'm going to intentionally put tracks in the crops. I've tested it, it doesn't look too bad, it doesn't look desperately realistic, but it doesn't look too bad. So I thought we'll do that rather than having, you know, because it is realistic to have, you know, tracks through the crops. In real life that's exactly what would happen, so we can do that. Will also challenge me to make sure that when I'm fertilising or spreading or whatever, that I am doing so consistently, so I'm always taking the same route through the crop. I didn't want to do that, did I? Wrong button. Sorry, this one doesn't unfold. Yeah, so we're going to try that. Anyway, not for now. Right, I will get this harvested. You've seen me doing enough harvesting that you really don't want to have to see it again. And I'll see you in a minute. Right, there we go. Oops, not the wheelbarrow. Is it going to unload? Please tell me it'll unload. Ha ha. Well, that's odd. Kind of figured. There we go. This wasn't quite in the right place. There we go. So yeah, as you see, didn't get much. Just 1,700 litres, but you know, it's fine. Like the council said, if we take a bit of care of it, maybe we'll manage to get back, get the soil on that field back in a bit of good heart. We'll see whether or not ploughing will actually remove the weeds. You never know, I could regret trying to do this, but I just thought it was such a small harvest it didn't really seem worth. Yeah, it's got stock, of course it's got stock. Come on. Yeah, it didn't really seem worth, terrible turning circle this thing. Didn't really seem worth bringing a trailer up there, so just about got away with it. It was a bit jiggly getting through the yard. I'm glad I wasn't recording it. Yeah, so we'll put this back because we now need to go and do the other field. So you'll see I've sold the Massey Ferguson mower, the 880, but you know, as we progress through time whilst playing the map, you know, maybe those things will become available again. So it's so contrived, it's terrible. Yeah, so actually I did yeah, the Amazon, the spreaders in there waiting to be filled, and there's the loading wagon where the old loading wagon was. I love that piece of kit. But yes, if you haven't seen that video, do have a look. They're all brilliant pieces of equipment, and the great thing is that certainly for the tractors that I could find, and a lot of the other equipment, because it's all Deutz or Far or Kuhn, or they're all German or Austrian or Swiss. So they're all from German-speaking countries, and given we are, I think, in Bavaria, which is not that far from the Austrian border, you know, it feels right to have them on this map. It's really quite lucky. Okay, so what we will need to do now is go down to the store. I also need to clear out the animals. I haven't done that for a little while. I love this tractor. Maybe I wasn't going to show you, but maybe as we've got the Gardner, perhaps I'll show you, mind you, with what I've got planned. You'll be fed up of looking at the Gardner. I'll meet you down at the store. Right, so here we are, just nipped down in the Deutz, and we are going potato harvesting on that other sort of municipal public land field. So we can't use the Grimmies, they're just too big. So we're going to try this. I'm afraid it's not an old piece of equipment, but it is, you know, it's small, it's simple in design, but hopefully incredibly effective. I've had mixed results with trying this out, so we'll see how we do. It probably means I shall have to use a worker, but yeah, we'll give it a go. So this is the Akpil Bulwa 2. It's by VNS FDG2. It's a mod, so do I buy it or lease it? I did say that I would only lease. It's only 976 to lease. I might as well just lease it. It's 12,200 to buy. I'm not going to need that much potatoes. I did say that if it was equipment that didn't fit the period, and this one I was sort of umming and ahhing about, but if it's equipment that doesn't fit the period, I'll lease it, not buy it. So I'll lease it, because although it doesn't really look out of place, it's actually quite new. It's just a very clever, simple piece of equipment. It's genius. Those little flat bits go underneath, lift out the potatoes, pull them up onto that little conveyor, give them a shake to get the soil off, and they drop out the end. So I have had some challenges using this. We'll see how we get on, but it may be that I'll get a worker on it, which I'll have to, because then I've got to go behind. So the one disadvantage of this, you have to pick them up. And whilst of course temptation would normally be to oh, I thought it lifted it up. Oh, that's cool. So it just does tow it. I suppose it's got little wheels. Yeah, so whilst temptation would be to lease the snowblower, that I'm afraid just we can't do. Right, so I think entrance to the little field. Must remember, brakes on old tractors not as good as brakes on new tractors. Must drive more slowly. Think ahead, which is always good advice for driving in any condition, but especially when you've got old tractors. Right, here we go. Ooh, that was... oh, I managed to get stuck. That's not helpful, is it? Look at that. Right, quickly pull over there. Okay. Right, we'll do this a bit quicker then. Let's hit it with the run. There we go. Right. There we go, nice. Okay. So, yeah, again, a bit like the other one, it's in a bit of a state, this field. I suppose, actually, of course, what I should have done was get a topper. But maybe with this piece of kit, I don't need one. Theoretically, I should do. That said, oh, it's got stuck again. That said, the worker yesterday made such a mess of this field that actually, well, you know, it kept running over it. So, to be honest, oh, this is going to be a problem. Look at this. It keeps getting stuck. Right, so clearly going uphill, not a good plan. So maybe we'll start it at the other end and see how we get on. This could be a bit challenging, but yeah, you can see the worker's already driven over a lot of the tops and destroyed them. I don't know, well, let's try it out without, because again, the top is really new. And actually, I don't have a tractor with a front 3-point link, so I can't put the top on the front, which means I'm going to run over the tops first anyway. Right, let's see. What do we do? Lower. Turn on. Let's try unload here. We have potatoes. Awesome. Not in quantity, I'll admit, but you know. Genius. Yeah, so it could be a slightly challenging field to do, given the slope and the slight lack of control I seem to have on it, but switch it off, lift it up, swivel it round, preferably without ending up in the ditch. Maybe we'll go this side. Should still be unloading. I think the yield's not particularly high, so I think it's just going to have patches where it's not going to get anything up. But you can see there are no plants there anyway. And there we go. Brilliant. Well, that's just genius. Right, well, we'll get this done. I'll take that off now because it seems to be working okay. We'll get this done and I'll see you shortly. In fact, actually, you know what I should do? I need to start picking these up. Well, I'll do some myself first, and then we'll see if there's a work around that can give us a hand. Bit of a challenge uphill. Goodness. So this is a 70 horsepower tractor pulling a 35 horsepower piece of machinery, and it's struggling. So if I drive in my wheel tracks, hopefully we'll not miss too much. But I think we'll get plenty out of here. Very kind of the council to let us use these fields, given they're not being used and clearly haven't been looked after, judging by the weeds. Anyway, as I said, I'll crack on with this. I'll see you shortly. Right, so that's that done. So as you can see, we had a little bit of worker trouble. I think the field boundaries weren't quite defined, so we got confused, so I had to do it myself, but that's okay. So we'll quickly nip this back down to the store, remembering not to stop on the top of the bridge. and we'll pick up the potatoes. So going to be a bit of manual work. I may not show all of this because even speeded up it's going to get, whoa, crazy driver. Even speeded up it's going to be a little bit of a slow job, but fine. But that did a really good job actually. I did have a slight problem with it at one point. It stopped unloading, but I managed to figure it out. Good. Go talk to the nice man, return the equipment. Done. Great. Right, I'll nip back up to the farm and we'll get the next tractor. Right, so I nip back up to the farm. I picked up the gold nut and the trailer, and what we will have to do, I think, maybe put the trailer at the edge of the field here on a reasonably flat bit. That'll do. Let's try that. And then let's try this. It's a really small bucket actually, so this could take quite some time. We'll see how we get on. Of course it's not the biggest yield in the world, so it's picking up a fair bit quickly. Right, some bits be a bit tricky depending on how even the field is. Like that. Close enough. Too low. Oh, this is going to be a bit tricky, isn't it? But we'll do it from this side. We're going to work a seed in that field. Just about. There we go. Potatoes. Right. I'll finish this off and I'll see you in a little while. Right, so as you can see, I bought sorry, I bought a second trailer, and if you zoom out there, they look quite similar. You'll see the size difference between the old-fashioned trailer that I had before and the new one that came in the Farming Classics pack. Yeah, I was just occasionally struggling to get the front loader scoop over the old-fashioned trailer, so I went and bought a second one. And it was then it was quite a bit easier, so quite useful. I'm sure I'll need it at some point again. Only cost a few thousand, so it didn't seem worth not worrying about. Right, so let's see. I haven't tested yet that potatoes actually go in this silo, but really there's only one way to find out, so fingers crossed. I mean, the unload symbols come up, but then it does. There we go. Let's have a look. Yep, we're all good. Brilliant. Just pull forwards very carefully. No. Yep. Oh, come on. Oh, I think we're at the end of an episode. So we've harvested our two common ground fields, our common land fields. We'll need to plough them out, cultivate them, and put a new crop in. Oh, my throat's really going. Pardon me. Yeah, see if we get the weeds, get them up to better yields, and yeah, good. I think next episode we've got more fields to harvest, and we'll have to start checking up on the animals. I think they might need a clean out. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed this. We'll get some more classic machinery another time, and yeah, I look forward to welcoming you back here on Altenstein very soon. Bye bye for now.